I was 16, standing outside my own house, with nothing but a backpack. My stepmother looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Get out. You're not part of this family anymore." And my father, he just stood there, silent. But what she didn't know was that kicking me out would be the biggest mistake of her life. My name is Ethan, and before everything fell apart, I actually had a normal life. My mum passed away when I was 10. It broke me, but my dad tried his best. For a while, it was just the two of us. We were close, until she came into our lives. Her name was Caroline. At first, she was kind, too kind. She smiled a lot, bought me gifts, called me sweetheart, but something always felt fake. A year after they got married, everything changed. Caroline slowly started taking control of everything. She changed the house rules, controlled the money, and worst of all, she changed my dad. He went from being warm and supportive to distant, quiet, controlled. Then the insults started. "You're lazy. You're useless. You're just a burden." At first, I thought she was just strict, but then she started lying to my dad about me. She failed school again. He talks back to me. He steals money. None of it was true, but my dad believed her every single time. One night, everything exploded. Caroline stormed into my room, furious. Her necklace was missing. "I know you took it," she shouted. "I didn't," I said. But she didn't care. She dragged me downstairs where my dad was sitting. "He's stealing from us now," she said. My dad didn't even look at me. He just said, "Is it true?" That moment broke me because I realized he didn't trust me anymore. "No," I said quietly, but Caroline smirked, and then she said the words that changed everything. "Then prove it, or get out." I looked at my dad, hoping, begging for him to defend me, but he stayed silent. That silence was louder than anything. Caroline crossed her arms. "You have 10 minutes, she said. So I packed my bag, clothes, a photo of my mom, and the little savings I had. When I walked to the door, I turned back one last time. "Dad, please." He didn't even look up. And just like that, I was gone. That night, I slept at a bus stop, cold, hungry, alone. For the first time in my life, I had no one. Days turned into weeks. I worked small jobs, cleaning, carrying boxes, anything to survive. Sometimes I skipped meals, sometimes I slept outside. But I made one promise to myself. I will never be this weak again. I studied whenever I could, used free Wi-Fi at libraries, watched online lessons. Slowly, I started building myself back up. One day, everything changed. I met Mr. Harris, an old man who owned a small repair shop. He saw me working outside one day and said, "You're not like the others. You're hungry, not for food, but for something bigger." He gave me a chance, a job, a place to sleep, and most importantly, he believed in me. For the first time in years, someone believed in me. I worked harder than ever, learned everything, saved money, studied business, and slowly, my life started to change. Years passed. I didn't just survive, I succeeded. I started my own company. Small at first, then bigger, then massive. By the time I was 25, I was running a multi-million-dollar business. People respected me, looked up to me, but I never forgot where I came from or who pushed me there. One day, I decided to go back, not for revenge, but for closure. I stood in front of the same house where I was once thrown out. But this time, I wasn't the same person. I knocked on the door. Caroline opened it. At first, she didn't recognize me. Then her face turned pale. "Ethan?" Behind her, my dad appeared. Older, weaker. He looked at me, like he had seen a ghost. I didn't come for revenge, I said calmly. I came to understand why. My dad broke down, tears in his eyes. She lied, he said, about everything. The necklace, she had hidden it. The accusations, all fake. She wanted me gone because I was a reminder of my mother and my dad, realized too late. Caroline tried to speak, tried to explain, but I stopped her. Don't, because none of it mattered anymore. Her life had already fallen apart. My dad had lost everything: trust, family, peace. And me? I had built everything without them. Before I left, my dad said, "Can you forgive me?" I paused, looked at him and said, "I've already moved on." Because forgiveness doesn't always mean going back. Sometimes